Hello everyone and welcome to the 60X Business Show. My name is Kitumaini and together with my guest, we will have different conversations about business, entrepreneurship and life. This is the show you've been waiting for. Stay tuned. In today's conversation, my guest is an amazing person. She's the founder and CEO of Glow Creation, which is a textile and design clothing house blended with Rwandan culture and tradition. And she's none than Gloria Kamanzi. Gloria, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for the invitation.
Awesome. Relax, it's going to be fun and It's going to be fine. So what we do at the 60X Business Show, you'll be spinning the wheel and then randomly we'll select a number. And from there, I will ask you a question. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Over to you. Let's hold the drums and see which number you're going to pick.
Okay, here is the number.
Number 8. Awesome. Can you tell us, growing up as a kid, what were Gloria's dreams and passion in life?
When I was a kid, I loved drawing a lot. I would say I was very passionate. Anything that was related to images. Yeah. I would be like finding myself taking a pencil and colored pencils, playing with the images. Yeah. It was really one of my passion. So I grew up with that, and even to tell you, it's something that is still part of me when it comes to drawing. So that's the kind of kid I was, and I like to play a lot. I remember I like to play soccer as well. Wow! I would find myself in different games. Okay. Other than drawing, I would find myself in different games. I enjoyed, like, for example, I used to admire, like, soldiers. Okay. To an extent, I would play games with boys. Okay. So I was a playful kid.
Wonderful. And talking about playful kid, like, you used to play football back then. Who is your favorite football player?
To be very honest.
Do you watch football these days?
I do, but I would say there are few that I follow, that I like to really get updates, to know what they've like made sure that the football made an impact to the community. I like to follow Drogba. Wow. He came from far. Yeah. And another one who I'm not quite sure, but I have admired him, the way he's been loyal to his club, Lionel Messi. Okay. So those are the two people I can say that I would really follow, how they really lived I would say, their talent. Because you have to see talent, and because I know I have talent, so I would just look at the talent and how is that talent impacting the community and the people looking at us. Wonderful.
That is really amazing. For all the football fan, as you heard from Gloria, she passionate about football. She used to play football, and I've heard players that she admire and look up to. The best, Didier Drogba and Lionel Messi. If you're a fan of Lionel Messi or Drogba, she's also one. Let's spin the wheel for another round of question. You got 8. Let's see which number you get this time.
Okay. Okay.
Number 10.
I didn't do too much in terms of moving.
All right. I'm very interested to learn about your entrepreneurship journey. Do you have a moment in your life when you realize that actually entrepreneurship is my call?
It took me some time to realize it was my call. I remember, actually it started on an early age. I come from a family that was involved in business. I would say it started from my grandfather. My grandfather was a very known grandfather, business person. in his region. He was someone who really wanted to improve the lives of the community, and I didn't know that I got something from him.
Okay.
And then my mom too. My mom was involved in my grandfather's businesses, and then her siblings too were involved in the business. So, and we were introduced to business on early age. Like I was introduced to business when I was 12 years.
Okay.
So, but I would see my parents being involved in business when I was 2 years, because when I was born, my mom was a businesswoman. So I grew up in that family line, but not the same sectors, quite different. So my inspiration came from my grandfather, and I would really see how whatever he would do in terms of projects, he would involve the community, and he would even make sure to share with his grandchildren, because I remember every holiday we would go to visit him to assist him, to help him with a number of activities at his workplace.
Okay.
And it was not only me, my sisters, so we still that have sense. So I grew up with that, and it took me some time when I got involved in the business I am, and when I see how I was doing things, like for example the artwork I started doing, where people started getting interested. But before people started getting interested, where I used to live in Senegal, I saw how the artwork people would do was helping many families in Senegal. And I said, why not?
Yeah.
So when I came back, I noticed when I started sharing and people started being interested and inspired, and they could see themselves, their life changing through what I was doing. And so it took me some years, and I understood it was really my call, because other than my business, I like to talk about it, I like to encourage people, and I like even to inspire and push people to aspire.
Wow, what an inspiring journey. As you've heard from Gloria, our journey started a while back. She was inspired by her grandfather, and the entire family, it's a family of business people, from the mother to dad, and also to different siblings. They used to go to grandfather and get exposed to entrepreneurship life, which was really amazing. Can you tell the listeners who don't know what is Glow Creation is all about? What do you do, and what makes you different in the market out there?
Yeah, Glow Creation is a textile design and printing company. We add value on textile. So what we do, we take like blank fabrics and we add value with patterns, and we are inspired with Rwandan patterns and even African patterns. So, and from there, the textile printed, what we do, we create a line of clothing, a line of home accessories, and we even come up with customized products. So that's what Glow Creation is about.
Wonderful. Let's spin the wheel for another round of questions. You've got 8, 10.
It's in between.
In between. Let's spin again.
Let's see again.
That is number 11.
11.
Your company is involved in the creative sector, and we are seeing these days interest of the different global markets showing interest in the African creative sector, especially in Rwanda. How do you see and how do you feel about the global markets nowadays being of interest to the African and Rwandan creative sector?
The way I see it, I would say there are changes happening. One thing is that we are making sure that the work of creative are being recognized globally, and even on the African continent. but we still have a long way to go. But I would say for the Rwandan creative industry, it has really come from far. When I remember my beginnings, when I would talk what I do, when I would talk what I'm passionate about, it could be something like a mystery. Like I'm just coming from another country and I'm living in my own world. But now things have really changed because I've been in the industry for more than 15 years now, being in the creative industry. So I believe and I see there's quite potential ahead of us. It's just that we have to be very observant and to know if we are able to inspire people and to invite people to enjoy our work, because we even have to go along with the people who follow us. How do we make sure that people enjoy the work we do? Because this is something I noticed in my journey being in this industry. I had to learn a language to speak to the followers, to the customers, and to the people around us. And then I discovered that we have our own language between us creatives. We do, because when we start sharing, it's like we are connecting, and sometimes we feel like we are inseparable. So it's very important that we get to know how do we grow this creative business, and how do we make it impactful, because we have to make sure that we are being impactful in the society, not only in the society, but even more than a number of countries. So, and I believe art speaks. I remember when I was in Senegal, people liked my work, but I was not from Senegal. I was from Rwanda, and I remember whenever I would introduce myself, I'm from Rwanda, people say, Rwanda, where is Rwanda? So they would ask, they would be curious. But now, Rwanda has been like known for a number of things, and being positioned in the areas of tourism, and so it's the opportunity for us to go with those opportunities and trend, and how do we present ourselves there. So I really believe there is a lot ahead of us. It's just that we have to make sure we get to the objective we gave ourselves, but even being more like listening. I think we need to listen so that we know how we express certain things through artwork.
Wonderful. That's so amazing.
Thank
you. Talking about creativity, talking about entrepreneurship, you personally, how do you feel being an entrepreneur? Contributing to the creative sector in Rwanda, creating jobs, contributing to the economy. How does that make you feel?
You know, it's a question I don't always ask myself. That's why I'm just taking a little bit of time to answer. First of all, I would say being an entrepreneur, it has made me discover what I can offer. How I can impact people's lives. Being an entrepreneur has made me a different person. Being an entrepreneur has made me learn from others. I would say things were not quite easy in a way where I performed entrepreneurship like business in Senegal and here. It has not been the same experience, but I would see a few things in common. So one thing I always tell my team and my staff is that even though I'm the founder of Glow Creation, even though I'm the founder of this initiative, it's not all about me. It's all about people. So what I understood in general is that being an entrepreneur is being available for others and serve others.
Wonderful. As you've heard from Gloria, being an entrepreneur is not about you, but it's about serving others, serving the community, and impacting your surrounding. And we've seen during this pandemic a lot of businesses being affected, either from tourism and hospitality, either from entertainment, and also from the creative sector, because some of the revenues comes from different people who visit the country, and they've been really affected by that. In your case, how was your business affected by COVID-19, and how are you solving those challenges?
Okay, COVID-19 has affected us in different areas. Of course, our businesses stopped. We could not operate. But I would say for us, for me, it's been an opportunity to pause and rethink, review, and see how we've been doing and see how we've not done much. And that's what actually I discovered our strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. So it was an opportunity for me, but even for my team as well, to review. So yes, of course, our sales got very down. Okay. But it has brought me to keep thinking out of the box. Yeah. That's what I can say that I learned from it. But in general, as others, of course, it has affected us. Things are no longer like before. The clients changed their attitude, the way they used to look at our work. It's no longer the same. Actually, they became more careful, which is good for us, by the way. Okay. Which is good for us because we have to make sure that we really pay attention to what we do, and we do it properly. We make sure that we don't have so many mistakes. So I would say it has been helpful as well. And to allow our clients to speak to us more often. Yeah. Actually, they will listen to us, but not properly. But now they're so attentive, so really attentive, and it's very key. But I believe for the better, even though the COVID-19 has hit us, but I believe for the better that things are going to be more better. Yeah. So I'm looking at it in a positive way that things are going to be more better, and we are going to reinvent ourselves in a different way. Wonderful.
As you've heard from Gloria, yes, COVID-19 affected her business, as most businesses has been affected. But what they've learned is thinking outside of the box and listening to customers, being in touch with the customers. And with all that, she's very, very optimistic that after all this is passed, the future going to be more better and better. And as a member of the Chamber of Women, what do you see as the challenges that most businesses are facing that enable them sometimes to fail? They face a lot of difficulties, and how do you think we can solve those challenges, especially within the Rwandan market?
That's a good question, by the way. Actually, it's a question that should be asked to any leader, yeah. Especially in the business environment, because, of course, I can list a number of them, but one thing I've seen is that Rwandan entrepreneurs, the challenge they face is that they don't really have access to knowledge, like to information. Let me call it that way, information. But one thing that I discovered is that some of them give room to information, yeah, to study it and understand it. But others, they have access to it, but they don't go deep to understand it. So we have those two areas. Like I can say, for example, of course, this has been on the list every time for the past how many years? 20 years. No access to funds.
Okay.
And it's been a song.
Okay. For every entrepreneurs.
Yes, for every entrepreneur. But the question is, how do we search for funds? How do we get ready for getting funds? So it's very important to understand, even though people are saying it as a challenge, but how do they get the information and then get ready? So that's where I discovered the big question is. So one thing for people to be able to have access to funds, they should be able to have access to information that will guide them on ways of applying. So I think access to information is very key, and access to proper, we don't even have a mentorship program. We don't. So access to mentorship programs, it's not available. So I think those are the two things that I see that are very key, and other things will be able to find its way.
Wonderful. As you've heard from Gloria, there are many challenges, and one of them is having access to finance. And yes, information is there, but we need to utilize the information and be ready to have access to finance. For all entrepreneurs out there, yes, you may have a challenge of not having access to finance, but you need to prepare yourself. You need to utilize the information, because there are different institutions, there are different investors who are ready to invest, and then you need to do your assignments. You need to make sure you are ready to secure those funding. And if you are not aware, ask your peer entrepreneurs, ask within your network, and then those information can be shared with you. And also another challenge, she said, lack of proper mentorship. Growing a company, growing a business to make it more sustainable require information, require support, require mentorship, because there is a lot of high and lows into this journey, and having mentors who help you to go through that journey, navigate some of those challenges, can enable you to reach far in this journey. And my follow-up question to Gloria is, your product has unique signature, the kind of difference. You have your batik printing to your products, either from your souvenirs item, either for your decorative items for the homes, either for your fashion clothes. Where do you get your inspiration from?
So my inspiration comes from, it comes from a number of things. I'm someone who loves nature, and I love the African tradition. And another thing which I would say is that I grew up in a background, of course I mentioned the business background, but I grew up being surrounded with people from different parts of Africa.
Okay.
So when I was in Senegal, I was in a pool of African.
Okay.
Actually, that's where things started to bubble.
Okay.
And that's why I started to get inspired of how to come up with creative artwork on things that can be used either on fashion, on decorative items. So my inspiration comes from a number of things, and I like to explore. I like to discover new things, and from the new things I discover, that's where I get inspired what I can create. Like the kind of touch I have, I noticed that people that surround us, that people that follow us, sometimes they do not know how to express themselves. So I remember when I would share my artwork with people, they would say, "Oh, you know what? Now I get you, because I didn't know how to express it, to explain it, to describe it." So, And I would understand that, okay, there are people who find maybe this design, they're too much, and maybe there's no artist or designer making it simpler or involving simplicity. So I get inspired from what surrounds me, the nature. I love to see what the nature brings us. Yeah. I like to see the animals. I love to see a number of things, and that's where I'm like inspired. Wow. And lifestyle of people. I follow a number of not only artists, not only designers. I follow a number of people that have something different and unique, especially in our continent.
Okay, wonderful. Shifting the gears from where you get your inspiration from to touch a little bit on what you're able to accomplish since you started to now. Your grandparents inspired you to venture into the business. And you moved from Senegal to Rwanda back in 2005. 2005 to start Glow Creation here in Rwanda. What are the learnings and lessons acquired during the course of that journey from when you moved back to Rwanda in 2005 to now as a business person?
This journey has been really interesting. Yeah. One thing I've learned, there are two things I really learned: patience and persistence.
Okay.
When we have a vision, we learn to be committed to it. So I learned to be committed, to be committed to the vision, to be committed to the community, and to the country, by the way. You know, I remember I was not so patriotic before, but this time I became so patriotic and Pan-African. So, yeah, I would say I learned, and I learned even to think out of the box. Yeah. I said it, but I'm even repeating it. I didn't know that I had hidden gifts within me. I discovered, I usually, the way I'm speaking to you, I wasn't really that talker. I wasn't really that person who talks. I was
you killed it, really.
I was very shy. By the way, English is my fourth language.
Wow.
French is my first.
Okay.
So I didn't know I could lead. I could be able to be in a level whereby I inspire. I speak in front of people. So because of this journey of being into business, entrepreneurship, I've been able to bring out other things that were hidden in me and learn to be patient and learn to be persistent and persevere even in hard times.
Wow. As you heard from Gloria, patience, perseverance, and through along the journey were some of her key lessons. And my follow-up question I would like to ask you, Made in Rwanda brand perception now has changed a little bit compared to back then. How do you see Made in Rwanda brand now compared to probably some years ago?
I would say it's growing. People are getting it, but we have not reached to a level of owning it properly. When I say owning properly, of course, entrepreneurs are having some challenges. Yeah. The customers too are learning to accept us because we have not, there are those who are not yet convinced by our work, but there are those who are already convinced by our work. So, but I believe the Made in Rwanda initiative and brand will go very far. It's just that we have to own it in a special way whereby we come up with innovation. We need to innovate more and being more creative so that we are able to meet the gaps that we are still facing in the local market. I would say is that one thing, actually, I want just to give this message to those who are following us, especially entrepreneurs. Please, let's come up with type of products or services that are applicable to our environment. Let's not copy from others from West Africa and we do the same. Let's try to come up with something that is applicable to our environment, to our lifestyle in the country with our people, I believe people will be able to buy from you and support you. I think it's very, very, very important.
Wow, that was so amazing. Let me wrap up this conversation with my last question. What is the future plan and goals of Glow Creation that you're having?
So our future plans is to grow our line of products, but of course we intend to have services which are not yet well finalized. I'm still going through studying certain things that are applicable to our local environment. It's to grow. We want to be that company that bring value to what is made locally. As I said, Glow Creation is a textile design and printing company. We want to, like the way we've been operating in terms of production is to make it larger, but applying different methods of work by like improving quality. We don't make textile, but adding value, it goes from one level to another level. So we look at ourselves having a line very soon of printed textile whereby people can have them in the market and that can be accessible to all levels. So that's the goal that we have for Glow Creations. The way I started and where I'm standing, I'm believing that things can really happen. I've seen others have made it, so I do believe that we can make it and we can bring a difference in the local market and in the African continent, by the way.
Wonderful, that's so amazing. We are coming to the end of this conversation and my guest was Gloria Kamanzi. Gloria, thanks a lot for making it to the show.
My great pleasure.
Wonderful. The conversation continues on social media using the hashtag 60xbusiness. Remember to tag me, my handle is @Kitumaini. Till next time, remember to wear your mask and wash your hands, and I see you down the road.